to hear from you. My number is 817-648-6535, and you can give me a call if you would like to comment. Okay, so before we get started, Kimberley, do you have any complaints tonight? Because Otis is not here.
You know, everybody gone. I can't fuss at nobody. Yeah,
you can complain about Gramps.
Gramps, yeah. No, we love Gramps. Oh, man, shoot.
I know you hate Carl. Otis
I know Otis
here.
isn't here. He out there in them streets getting in trouble, I'm sure. He's somewhere doing something he ain't got no business doing.
Well, he's supposed to be picking up his daughter. You think he's doing that?
No. Why he picked Monday night? Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I tell you.
There you go.
Carlos, why you have to do it on a Monday? You know.
He's somewhere watching wrestling.
Oh, you know what? Carlos is his twin. Where is Otis?
Otis not going to miss that wrestling.
Oh, okay.
He may miss us, but he not going to miss wrestling.
Okay, he probably at home
Even on a bed of affliction, he still turning that wrestling.
Okay, Otis, we're disappointed because you left us
you.
for the wrestling, Otis. Okay.
Was it WWD or is that the oil? What is it? Daniel?
But anyway.
WD. I think the WWD is worldwide.
Graham said he doesn't know what it is.
Oh, worldwide wrestling. Yeah, he go wherever he is, he watching it wrestling.
Oh yeah, He probably didn't even watch the show tonight.
He watching.
That's what we get on this show. We get her and Otis fighting over something. And that's the reason why we have to do our scripture walk tonight.
To clean us out.
Because we need the word of God on this show, I tell you. But anyway, she's getting ready to do our scripture walk, and then we're going to get into our topic tonight. I think Emmanuel's doing pretty good on this music. We might have to replace Otis. We're going to do the finish what you start first. All right, Kimberley got her plaque back. Finish what you start. Philippians 1:6. That is our main scripture because we want you to always finish what you start. And you know, sometimes, Kimberley, we be ready to give up, don't we? But this plaque says, never give up. No matter what you're going through, don't ever give up on life. We heard earlier, live life to the fullest. All right, so thank you, Kimberley, for that. And Linda Smiley says, hello, my Pete. Keep me in your prayers, please. We will definitely be praying for you, co-host Linda. We miss you because you always bring joy to the show. So thank you for tuning in. All right, so tonight we have with us, Miss Elliott is back with us. Kaleah? Kaleah, I always mess her name up, and it's so pretty. Kaleah. All right, that's how I feel when people mess my name up. If it ain't Elma, it's Alma, it's Thelma, whatever. I just go by whatever they call me, especially on checks. I'll take it on a check. Okay, so tonight I went to, about a month ago I came to your office, maybe a month. Has it been a month?
No, it hasn't been a month.
It hasn't been a month.
You came last week, but we visited
Yeah,
before.
we visited together at the office. She has a beautiful office, Kimberley. That was part of my community outreach.
Nice.
And I was able to go to her office, and she gave me a tour of her beautiful office, beautiful staff and everything. And we got to talking in there. And she was sharing some information, which I thought would have been a good topic for anyone that has lost a loved one through murder or suicide. Would that go into that too? And it's called traumatic
grief.
Yeah, traumatic grief. Losing someone through that is something that I've never really experienced close to me. But I had a cousin that went through that, something similar. But, you know, it wasn't like my sons or a sister or brother or anything like that. So we're going to talk about that. If you have any comments, please put it at the bottom of the screen, okay? All right, Kaleah, let's see. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself before you go into the topic and how you want to, address this?
Sure. I'm the Executive Director of Family Community Case Management in Bedford, Texas, where we do individual and family therapy, case management, peer support, and youth engagement, as well as family engagement as well. And how we got into this is it was a dream from my husband. You know, one, always wanted to start his own business, but two, having a really big affinity for the community and a really big heart to help. And one way we do that is connecting other community resources together for people in need within our community, so that it could be a lot more cohesive.
Right.
And one, so that they can, one, live their life in full independence, and two, you know, build those healthy supports that everyone needs in order to make it, you know.
And that's good. That's good. And if you all are going through that, you need to check her out. How can they find you?
Well, well, there's several ways. One is on our website, which is fccmdfw.org. And you can always reach us by phone, especially on our resource line. And sometimes I will answer, and sometimes it's my husband or it's one of our staff, but we'll be happy to help you. And our number is 682-777-5299. You can also come by our office, and our office address is 221 Bedford Road, Suite 300, Bedford, Texas, 76022.
Beautiful office. We can sit there and watch all the cars go through. We can watch everything. I was enjoying sitting there in that chair, watching everybody, all the cars going through and everything, and just being in the midst of good people. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about traumatic grief. How do you grieve, and what, you know, when someone close to us that's in the family or friend or just somebody that we know take their own lives, or somebody else take their life, how can that affect us, and how can we start this conversation off?
Well, one of the things we have to understand what traumatic grief is.
Okay.
And traumatic grief is one or two things. One, it's death that resulted in a very traumatic event. This could be mass shootings, this could be suicide, but it's very sudden and without any planning. And it's a different type of grief process, unlike going through grief process where we're losing a family member to cancer. This typical grief process, we never saw it coming. Nothing we could have ever done could have prepared us for that moment. And so we have to navigate those pathways differently.
Right. Because this is something that happens, and you could have been talking to the person, then next thing you know, the person that took his life, or somebody else have taken their lives, you know. So we were sharing, I think you went through this, experienced this or something?
I did. In December of 2020, my sister passed away by murder. Unfortunately, it was an incident where the person knew her and wanted to date her, but he didn't take her rejection. And so it's one of those, if I can't have you, can't nobody else have you. And he murdered her in her apartment. And how it was traumatic for me, I was the last person to talk to her that day, and they found her the next day.
How did you feel?
It was a shock.
Because you had just talked to her, and then you get the word. Who informed you of it?
Her best friend informed me. She called me, and I was in Tyler visiting family at the time. And so, but the day before is when it happened. And I was the last one to talk to her. You know, it wasn't anything different about our conversation. She was helping me plan a list of people who we can talk to, because we were in the very beginning stages of our business. And you know, she said, hey, I'm gonna go upstairs, I'll call you back after a while, and if you have a friend, y'all know that's code word for going about y'all day, we'll catch up after a while. And you know, because we're all adults and we all have lives to live, and you know, that after a while never came. And until I got the call the next day, actually that next evening, we had a big Christmas party, and I got the call around all my family, and I broke. I did.
And so the guy, were they dating, or they wasn't dating?
No.
Had they ever dated?
No.
So
no, it was a odd relationship where he, you know, she was trying to do where they were selling vitamins, and so he met her during that time, And, you know, not to, there's a whole big context I will go into later, but he, you know, wouldn't take the fact that she said no for an answer and respected that wishes. You know, the person that she was, if you knew her, you would genuinely love her and you know, want to preserve her brightness and her joy. And, you know, for me, he did not know her. He didn't know her.
I mean, did she know him or just knew of him?
It was more of a working relationship,
okay,
I would
a working
say.
relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was in love with her.
He liked her. I can't say yes and I can't say no because one wasn't in the middle of the relationship, but I was in the middle of the conversations with her about him, and I know that's not somebody that she, you know, would like. He was married. It wasn't anything of that, you know.
Oh, he was a married man.
Yeah, he was a married man.
Oh my God.
And he wouldn't take.
How long ago was that?
This was in 2020, so this was over 3 years ago.
In this area?
It was actually Carrollton. She lived in Carrollton.
But he's a married man. Was he still married? Okay, he was a married man.
Wow.
And was liking her. And she rejected him.
Yes.
And, I mean, this man is married, and he going to take another person's life.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my God. This is crazy.
You have a picture of your sister we can post?
I do.
You can give it to her.
It's on my phone. Yeah, I can
Where
get
your
it
phone at?
over there on that chair over there.
This is terrible. Linda Smiley said, I am sorry, truly sorry for your pain and loss. What happened to the person that did this horrible crime?
Well, he was put away. He is serving a lifetime sentence without the possibility of parole. And by the grace of God, I was instrumental in sitting on the stand, me and her best friend sitting on the stand and providing our testimonies and standing up for her and being her voice when could nobody else be her voice.
Wow. So you had to go to trial
Wow.
I did.
and all of this.
I did.
Okay, so I'm just bedazzled because this is so crazy. The thing
much
that captured
older
my
was
attention, he's married, Kim, and gonna take another person's life.
He was about, I don't know his exact age.
Like,
I'm gonna be honest. He
He
was
was
older.
much younger, older.
No, he was older.
Wow.
Older than her.
Yeah.
Was it like 10 years or?
I don't know the exact age because I didn't know how old he was
Wow.
per se, but I do know he was older because
Older.
she was a couple years younger than me. So
Okay, so
And he's
yeah.
ripped his own family apart.
He did.
had no
Yeah,
respect
because see,
for his
now the
own
wife
family.
have to suffer for his loss.
For the children.
And the
Or they got
children.
away safe.
I wonder how the
It may
wife
not be
felt,
that
though.
she suffered, it means she got away.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, through this whole process, it destroyed many families. That's what traumatic grief does.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't just hurt the person that the
Right.
life is lost. It hurts the people that are very connected to that person.
Right.
Right.
And in the event of traumatic grief, you know, in the traumatic nature of it, when it comes to murder, it also hurts the murderer's family. That murderer's
Yes.
family has a mother and sister and
Yes.
children, and that family is also destroyed.
Right.
And so it's two very distinct families that are.
And then
That
the
are
wife
destroyed.
family is destroyed too because you got to look at her being the wife of the husband that did this.
So
You know? And then the children. How many did they say how many children he had?
They didn't say how many children he had, but she had no children.
Oh, she didn't have
No.
any. Oh gosh. So she was how old when she got killed?
She was 37.
37 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Golly. That is just. So when you got this word, you had to come back. Did you have to do the funeral arrangements? What did you have to do? First, you
Yeah.
got to grieve. You didn't even get a chance to grieve, did you?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. My grieving process started later. One, because I had to do a lot of her planning. Her
Yeah.
family could not come down here. Her dad was sick, her mom was sick, and other brothers and sisters were sick as well. And so they entrusted me, and it was my pleasure and my honor to make sure those arrangements were met. I made sure that, I didn't want her mother and father to have to do anything to prepare her when she got home. And so I wanted to make sure that, that it was to their liking and their standard. And when she was sent off like a queen, because that's who she was to me. She was a queen.
Did you have another picture? We're going to post them as you talk about it. I can.
Wow, this is just so hurting because of the fact that when you're taking someone's life, that involved a lot of different people, and especially if you're murdering somebody. I can't even picture somebody just murdering someone and think that they're not going to get caught or just taking a life
He was
period.
obsessed with her.
Just taking a life
She's
period.
beautiful.
That is a bold person, but that's a demonic spirit that can come over a person and even can tell them how to do it or whatever. But the thing that still captured my attention is he's married and she's single, and he's over here taking somebody's
Harassing her at
life.
work. So he
like
was
that.
also harassing her at work then.
Well, we found out he was stalking her.
Oh, he was talking.
Wow.
And the day that, through all the information and all the things and all the investigation, found out that he was following her that day. He was 11 cars behind her when she pulled into her apartment complex. And he had been following around. There were some things that happened with her vehicle, brake lines being cut weirdly,
wow.
and even to the master cylinder on her car messing up. It was really, really weird. And so, and this was up until 2 weeks before she passed, because I was the one to sit there and she would call me, I would go see about it. I'm not the kind of person that if something was to happen, I'm not going to leave her out there. That's my sister. I'm going to go see about her.
So this is a beautiful picture of her on the screen right there. The picture that was on there, that was a picture of her.
Yes.
And she seemed to be such a sweet person,
She was a joy.
Joy to be around.
She was so much fun. By how she prayed, and she loved the Lord, and so by how she praised God helped me to be more open and comfortable with how I praise the Lord. And one thing she did in church, when Pastor said something good, she goes, all right, Pastor.
She had her own way of making people laugh.
She had her way, and it made me feel more comfortable with being who I am and enjoying life. Because when she walked into a room, she was a joy, and she brought a light with her and a personality that was just out of this world. And honestly, me being able to talk about her, helps me in my grief process.
And that's good, because that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. What kind of support have been most helpful to you during this difficult time? And you're saying that by you're talking about her, that's helping you still, accept that she's gone in a way, huh?
Yes. Here's the thing. I don't run away from the grief of losing her.
Right.
At first it hurt. It was really hard to feel and to endure. And part of my grief process is to turning the pain, holding it just for a second, and then releasing it back out into the atmosphere like love. Like I would give a hug.
Yes.
And so grief, it's like this hard, it's just love that doesn't have a place. That's really what grief is. But my grief never lost its place.
Right.
My God.
It still has a place with her. And so just like an Oreo candy, right? Not an Oreo candy, an M&M candy. It has this hard shell, but if you hold the M&M long enough, it's going to melt.
It does. It sure
And so
did.
I melt that hard shell, and on the inside of that hard shell is my love. And so when I get ready to release it, I tear up, I cry, but I release my love back out into the world where it can do its best purpose.
So how do you, I know you're talking about it tonight, but has there ever been a moment or moments where you just broke down, even though she's been gone since what, 2020?
2020.
2020, so it's what, 4 years almost? So do you still feel her presence or have that moment where she either make you cry or make you laugh?
She makes me laugh a lot.
That wasn't the Woman Valley Grand Prix, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she makes me laugh a lot. It's just her memories, just thinking about who she was and the things that stood out and were her purpose in life is some of the things that I had to bring closer to me. Not the loss is going to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
But her life, who she was, what she stood for, what she loved, that's what I hold most dear.
Yes, I can see that.
In answering your question, of course, I did. There was times where all I could do was cry. My support system is ironclad. My mother, my sisters, my brothers, my children, my husband. They've all, my church family and my mentor, oh my God, they all have stood by me time and time again when it comes to, just being there and being that support that I needed in these moments.
So would they sort of like help you cope with the with this and give you strength through going through this, your church family? Do they still, do some of the church members still bring her up to you? Or
Of course.
they do? Because she was a member at the church, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, she was a joy. She was a presence.
And that's good.
And so whenever they bring her up, of course it's their point of sadness, and I validate that.
Yes.
But also it's a point of giggles because of who she was and what she brought to the table.
Wow. That's so. So let me ask you this. How do you know if they broke into the apartment? Where did they find her at again?
They found her in her apartment.
In an apartment. And he shot her or what?
Yes.
Did he shoot her?
He shot her in the back of the head.
In the back of the head?
Yes.
Oh my God. He couldn't even face her.
No.
He shot her in the back of the head.
No. It was.
Oh my God. And she had such a beautiful smile.
Yes.
Oh, she is so beautiful. Beautiful. She seemed like she was a joy. Wow.
Very smart, highly intelligent. And she was a
looked
caseworker.
so
And that's where a lot of, though she's not here, I get to carry her name forward, and I continue to do so. The things that she believed in, what she loved to do, which was she had a very big affinity for the people. And in her work, she did case management, and so I get the honor of taking that up.
Did she work for you?
She didn't work for us.
She didn't work for
but
you,
she
okay.
was very instrumental in helping me to build that case management piece as well.
Okay. So how long had y'all been friends?
Oh my God. Believe it or not, it wasn't long enough, and I kid you not.
Oh, really?
We met 2016 and at church, and she comes up to me because I'm giggling in my phone looking at memes and it's before church started, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're funny. Let's be friends."
You and said,
yes. Let's be friends. And we spent the entire night giggling at memes in my phone.
Yes, that's a good friend.
Yes. Yes.
Good friend.
That's a good one.
But from there, we built a sisterhood, and it's easier to call her my sister than my friend.
Okay.
And I honor that because not every day I get to have somebody that, that knows me on a very deep sister level. And my babies loved her, and that was A&Q. And my babies loved her. My family loved her. And I don't bring people in very often, but when I do, I love to be able to trust them, and I trusted her fully.
That's beautiful.
That's a good picture. Right. What we are talking about tonight is traumatic grief. How do you deal with someone through being murdered or suicide or just giving up on life? This lady lost her life through being murdered. I mean, that just really hurts. She's minding her own business. Just because he rejected her, he goes and murder her.
She rejected him.
She rejected him, and he's married. I mean, that's the key to get to me. He's married, has a wife and a family, and you go and take a life of somebody that does not want you. And she's probably respecting his marriage.
She was.
Herself.
And herself too, you know?
So now you feel the shock that you feel.
Yes.
That's traumatic.
Yes.
That is the part of traumatic
Traumatic.
grief. It does not have an explanation, and no explanation that is given is good enough to accept and understand. It's very hard to understand the outcomes of investigations and, you know, the why and something
Yes.
happens. We can't understand traumatic grief. Here's the thing, it's not meant for us to understand.
We just have to be strong enough to deal with
Exactly.
that and not blame ourselves for
Yes.
it. And, if I hadn't been there, it wouldn't have happened or
Yes.
whatever. You know, because sometimes we'll feel like it's our fault, and it's not our fault. Did you ever feel like if I had been there, maybe this wouldn't have happened? Or did you ever feel like that? Or
Of course, I was very protective of her, you
Okay.
know, as one should of their sister.
yeah, because she
And
was like a
she
sister,
was-
not just a friend.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I
And
can
so there was
understand.
moments where, you know, if she would have told me this, that, and the other, she could have come to the house. Me and my husband would have done something,
Right.
being a lot more proactive. I would have been at her apartment, but there's always, you know, those are always those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and there's always the guilt. But at the end of the day,
Hey.
nothing could have prepared us for what happened, and no matter what we've done, nothing could have protected us from that moment because that was outside of our control.
Yes, yes.
That's good.
But did she ever talk to you about her being afraid of him, or, you know, any warning signs that he would hurt her?
I'm be honest with you. She didn't talk about him like that.
Okay.
She didn't talk about anybody like that. She said she felt something. She felt like somebody was watching her, and I
Okay.
took that to heart. I didn't take that small scale. But at the end of the day, there's only so much protecting that I could do, and it took therapy. It took lots of therapy and processing for me to be okay with. It was out of my control.
Right.
And you know, I'm not a superhero. My cape ain't that long, and so it took accepting that not all things are in my control, and that's something that was very much out of it.
So, do you ever go out and talk to different people about traumatic grief
Well, believe it or not,
outside of tonight?
I'm starting a new trend because I was on a podcast recently about traumatic grief, and so I get the pleasure to do two things. One, let people know that going through problems in grief and understanding that grief process and being able to own how they grieve is really important. And then two, letting everybody know that, you know, I smile, I giggle, I'm a very happy person, but behind this smile, there was something traumatic that happened here. And there are people that can identify with that and help walk you through that process so you're not alone. And so now I'm starting a trend where I get the chance to speak to others and let them know, hey, I am too somebody that's experienced traumatic grief, and what I can offer is an ear, a strong shoulder to cry, and the ability to help support you in the moment where you are, and help you navigate coming out of this.
So what do? You get them to talk about it openly,
of course,
and get them to share how they feel. So that's part of the grieving part.
Grief, for me, grief is a process, of course. Grief itself is discovery. It's about discovering those emotions behind what you feel. Yes, there is that grief process, but sometimes that grief process can be blocked solely by one emotion, that's anger. And we can be angry that this person is gone, this person that we love is gone, and we don't know how to feel about it.
Right.
We can't do anything. It was out of our control. And it's that releasing the control over it to address the anger, because anger is always secondary. If we take anger, sit it to the side for a minute, and find the why are we angry, we can understand that anger.
Right.
So for me, my anger was, I couldn't do anything. And I felt helpless.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do. And she was gone.
Right.
The person that I felt the most comfortable with talking with as a sister was gone. So I had to discover why I was mad.
Okay.
Second
That's good.
is processing. Processing is getting in our support systems and talking with our trusted people to get all of these things out. We can't hold them in. We can't brush them aside. We have to sit them right in the middle and look at them, basically. And then we acknowledge, understand, and accept how we're feeling in the moment. And we own our grief process. No other grief process is the same, and it is not linear. It looks like the squiggly lines of a 2-year-old in a crayon, but it's ups and downs and lefts and rights and forwards and reverses. And one day you can be on your road to purpose and then back to discovery because of how your emotions are going, and it is okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with going back to discovery.
Yes.
There's a reason why we're back there. We gotta address it. And then we go to purpose. Purpose is doing something about our grief.
Right.
What is that positive push that we can do going forward? What do we learn about our grief process, about ourselves? And then how can we navigate that going forward?
Right.
And are we going to hold on to the loss and the emptiness? Or can we remember the things that they've told us? The good conversations, sitting hours on end talking about absolutely nothing, giggling, or sharing times with family. Are we going to remember the wise things and things that they put into us, the encouragement?
Right.
Those are things that we should hold on to.
Right.
The fact that they're lost, yes, it hurts, and I'm acknowledging every bit of that.
Yes.
But I'm also acknowledging this person lived and loved, and that love now resides in me.
And so she left love behind for you, and the joy that you all experienced.
Yes.
So how long did you? I know you was angry, right, to the man. Were you able to sit there in the courtroom and look at him like that? I mean, what was your thoughts when he was sitting there?
Oh, of course. Because if not, I wouldn't have been able to do my part to make sure that he goes away.
Okay.
I had to sit with God, and I asked God for all the strength that he could spare and then some.
I know that's right.
I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and one of the things was I had to be able to speak, because before then I was real mousy, couldn't speak to anybody. I'm really goofy. Around my friends, I'm a ball of joy, but in public I would pull back and I wouldn't talk to anybody. But I had to learn to get out of that, because I had to learn to speak. And it's something my husband said. My husband said, it's going to take time, but you're going to have to get out of this.
That's right.
So that you can speak for her and be her voice, because she's not here. And at first I didn't understand what he was talking about. I was quite mad. But he made it as plain and as clear as he possibly could.
Wow.
And it took me to do the work. And from there on, I was able to sit in that courtroom on the stand and testify, and not be afraid. Of course, I was afraid. I was quaking in the bottom of my shoe. Couldn't nobody see it. But in the end, God had me. My husband sat right there My family prayed for me and gave me their support. My church family gave me their support. I had a lot of people behind me. So me being able to have the courage to sit there and give my not testimony, but testimony, attesting to who she was, and look him dead in the face for her mother, her father, her sisters, and her brothers.
So you
I was able to
actually
do
looked
that.
at him.
I did. I did.
Did he show any kind of remorse or anything for doing this?
He didn't show any kind of remorse, and I wasn't expecting any.
Wow.
My expectations were low for that. My thing is, I'm not there to browbeat or shame. I'm there to
Right.
tell who she was, and that's exactly what I came to do.
Did you notice if his wife was in there?
I did not, because I'm
didn't
be
know
honest with
her.
you, I didn't know her. I didn't know what she looked like, and I wasn't looking for her.
For there. Gosh, this is so, just so traumatic that you had to experience this, to go through this for a lovely person that lost her life because of a man. Now, do you think that he ever told her, if I can't have you, nobody else can have you? And they really weren't in a relationship.
No, I don't. I can't really speak on
That part.
but that's the feeling that I have.
Yes.
Because, we as women, we experience those kind of men where they can't take rejection and can't respect the no.
Yes.
And it's sad. In the end though, what was lost was somebody very awesome. And then his family lost him. And I can't speak for what he actually said in that moment. I can't speak on how it felt to me, what it appeared to me.
Wow. That is so crazy. I'm still in shock just even thinking, then to think that he shot her in the back of the head. That's just so crazy. For anybody to even take anybody's life like that, just to come into her place and do that to her. Oh, that is just so crazy. So what has this journey of grief looked like for you, and how has it evolved over time?
Well, I'm able to, at first it hurt, and it was such a very physical and tangible feeling in my body that, it was starting to evolve into disrupting me working. I started having real bad anxiety, headaches. I could not sleep.
Oh, wow.
And, it affected the relationship with me and my family, including me and my husband. It affected that pretty bad. But, my husband being who he is, he ain't going nowhere. And I ain't either. And so, and he told me so. And so, but allowing me to navigate those feelings for myself was really important. And I had her friends from back home call, and her family, I still speak with her dad.
Oh, okay.
And I still, inquire, and her stepmom and her nephew are the cutest thing ever. And so I still build, connect with those relationships about her. I don't push them away like I could have, because it hurt, because talking about her at that point hurt. But now I was able to change it and channel it, and talking about her is another point for me to share my love for her and to share her with the world. And she never has died from that. She continues to live.
To live on. So now she was from where? Where was she?
She was from the Bronx, New York.
Oh, wow. The Bronx, New York. Oh, wow.
She was a student of Loyola. I'm sorry, I couldn't say that right. Loyola University, where she received her bachelor's degree in case management.
So
And
that was her job, was case management?
That was her job.
Oh, so she was a case manager.
She sure was.
On her job. Okay, so I can see how she could help you in your business and everything like that. So she was such an inspiration to you.
Yes.
I can see. Okay, let me ask you this question. What actions or changes do you hope to see in society to support families affected by similar tragedies?
What I hope to see is that we can share in openness, connection, and help. Since COVID, the numbers of suicide and people dealing with mental health illness has astronomically skyrocketed to the point to where it's becoming a pandemic of its own.
Okay.
Because the systems that are built to help these people are kind of few and far between. And in the state of Texas, as of March, they let go of 101.3 million children and people off of Medicaid, which kind of blocks their access to mental health care and resources. So now it increases the weight of utilization of hospital systems to regulate themselves with care. There isn't enough organizations in the community to help people deal with mental health illnesses and help them navigate effectively. There are organizations we continue to believe in, which is NAMI, which is the National Organization for Mental Illness, and that's one that me and a few of my staff champion to bring awareness to, where they supply free mental health groups for people within the community, even right here in Fort Worth. And not only that, there are a few community organizations that offer telehealth, mental health services, and peer support. I can't stress that enough. It's people who have lived the experiences that can help support other people navigate their own mental health challenges. And those people are there. And they're willing to help, unbiased, and able to bring that connection. And it's just important that us as a community be able to foster these relationships and these connections so that people can get the help that they need.
So do you think this is part of the mental health that guy probably needed, or he was going through mental health, for him to do something like this?
It could be.
Could be part of that.
It could be part of that. It could have been a number of things where he could have reached out to help him with impulsive thought and impulsive actions, and any type of not diagnosed issues that could have been worked out in either mental health therapy or group counseling or whatever that looked like for him. But that help is out there, and there are plenty of people that out there that go through in silence. That takes courage to speak up and ask for the help. And I always say, and my pastor always said, courage is having fear but still having the gumption to get back on the horse. And so if you still have fear, you're still without fear. You still live with that fear, but you have the push and the drive to go seek the help for yourself. And that takes courage and guts.
To do that. Also take a drop in your pride.
There you go.
To say, I know I need help, so let me go and get the help and stuff. So I know our time is gone, but let me ask you this one last question. What message would you like to share with others who are also grieving the loss of a loved one through violence?
It is okay to be wherever you are within your moment, and whatever your grief process looks like, whether that's crying and welling, and I'm a crier and weller, but I'm also a person that goes and seek really good counsel and build my support systems, and being able to build positive, good support systems for yourself is really important. Understand that you are not alone in your processes, and you are not alone in walking through your walk of traumatic grief. There are organizations out there, some of the ones that I've named, and then there's our organization as well. We're more than happy to sit here and process with you and help you through your journey and help you find a light and still hold the love for your loved one that is lost, because they're not lost. Their love still lives within you, and so does their life.
That's good. So you want to give them your information again in case somebody need to come visit you and talk to you. What is it again, if you would like to share it again?
Of course. Our organization is Family Community Case Management. It's located in Bedford, Texas. Our address is 221 Bedford Road, Suite 300, Bedford, Texas 76022. Our resource line is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our resource number is 682-777-5299. And our website, we're located at fccmdfw.org.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kaleah, for sharing about traumatic grief. And if you're going through some traumatic grief, it's okay to keep grieving. Grieve. Talk about it like she was sharing tonight. The love and the joy that still lives on through her. What was your friend's name? What was your sister's name?
Koshana.
Kashana. She would have one of those hard names for me to pronounce. But anyway, so you're still in touch with her family?
Yes.
And all of that?
Yes.
So they're still your family?
Yes, they're still my family.
So think about the good times and the bad times. And just, it's good to talk about it. I still talk about my mom. She passed on. She didn't pass on with traumatic grief, but she died from diabetes, and that is a long suffering. That was a long suffering for me to see a strong woman on the bed, had 3 amputations and all of that, and still pushing on. So, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to talk about it. I laugh sometimes about some of the crazy stuff she took me through. And then sometimes I can get mad at her for leaving me, but I know she's not going through all that pain anymore. And that's been some 20-something years ago. But anyway, it's okay to grieve. So at this time, we're going to have our fashion by Kimberley to maybe cheer us up a little.
Okay.
Oh, she's waiting on the music.
Okay.
And Callie Lowe says, so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's see what she got on. Oh, I love this outfit.
I decided to do spenders.
That is so
I got on my little
pretty.
spenders, some little ruffles.
I love
there
her
are some
shirt.
spenders on there.
I love her
Right.
jacket, her shirt. It's so pretty.
That is so beautiful.
My vintage shirt. I got on my vintage shirt.
I love it. I love that how it matches with your zipper thing in the front.
Yeah, my little
Girl,
zipper.
you be matching it up. And her earrings, look at the beautiful earrings that match up with that and her glasses.
You see her pin?
Yeah, I saw the pin, yes.
You gotta have a little Chanel knockoff. Look, you gotta have a little knockoff. You gotta have a little
That
knockoff.
is too cute. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is one part of the show I love as well. How she fashions so beautiful. Her clothes, her purses, everything. Come on, let's get up here. And we're gonna fashion some of our t-shirts along with Kimberley Fashion. Okay. And these shirts are designed. Okay, go on, Kimberley. These shirts are designed with beautiful little wording that goes on them. And remember, you can what? Design your own t-shirt. Just let us know what design. And Kaleah is going to show this one. You can go down here and just do your little thing. And she has, there you go, she has her cute little, and we come in all different colors. So it doesn't matter what color you like. All we need to know is what design you would like. And look at Kimberly's. Oh, I tell you, I love these colors. I love them, and and we try to design these t-shirts so they will capture the attention. When you walk by there, be like, oh, what was that on that t-shirt, So check us out at www.kirkinspiration.com. We also, with the plaques that he did, you can get these plaques. He can make up your own design plaque for you. We just need to know the design that you will like on your plaque. And not only that, if you need to rent a photo booth, one of the greatest photo booths that I've ever seen in my life, you need to check us out at www.thekirkbooth.com. And I guarantee you, if you go to our webpage, you will see one of us on there. Okay, especially Kimberley, because Kimberley is the photo booth model. She loves modeling for us, and we appreciate you, Kimberley. putting all those
Thank you,
beautiful
thank you,
pictures
thank
out
you,
there.
thank you.
You know,
Anytime,
I always
anytime.
tell her she's so beautiful. She's a model. And she finally is our model. She loves to model. And she dresses so beautiful. So if you would like to come and take some pictures at the photo booth, you can rent us for a very reasonable price. You get all the pictures at the end of your event. And then we can also drop it off if you want us to, as long as you take care of it, okay? But anyway, we do some beautiful pictures. We have a lot of fun. So if you have an upcoming event and you want memories forever, please contact the Kurt Booth. That's www.thekurtbooth.com, okay? And if you would like to be on the show, you can contact me at www.elmatalkshow.com. Don't you like all them www? I tell you so many www. But anyway, we are here. We love to have fun on our show. Thank you so much for being on the show, sharing that. And I know that was really sometimes could be hard for you to talk about it, but you share it with such joy. You know, it's like her memory is still living on through you because you're laughing when you talk about her. So I can imagine just seeing her picture that she was an awesome woman of God. So if you're going through a traumatic grief or just grieving, period, it's okay to grieve. Don't let nobody tell you not to grieve. If you want to cry, scream, holler, or shout, do it. And then think of the memories. Don't ever let those memories go. Think of the memories. Think about them. And that person still lives on in you. So share, and share again. All right, if you would like to be on the show, remember, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, and now we're on TikTok. So, hey, we're getting that exposure out there. And if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, Kimberley can handle that. Right, Kimberley? She's our, what is it, Ritual?
Dr. Ritual.
Dr. Ritual, she takes it and just tear it up. And we miss you, London, Jerome.
Yes.
So, hey, we're praying for you. Stay strong. And if you have a topic again, please come on our show and let us discuss your topic or send it to me. And like I said, Kimberley will deal with it.
I'll digest it for you. Spit it back out.
But anyway, we love you. Thank you all for tuning in. And please, if you'd like to be a part of our audience, we would love for you to come in 1250 Mansfield Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas. And if you would like to donate or sponsor our show, we would love for you to do that too. You can also text me or send your gift. We have a Cash App if you want that. It's $TCWIM. We'll take that too. All right, thank you all. We love you. May God bless you until we see you what? Face to face. Good night.
Good night, Ellen. Good night.
Good night.